What's up guys, welcome back, and in this video I'd like to extend the search we did in the last video. So we made this little drop down with search results as you type, and this is using Algolia's autocomplete plugin. I'd also like to use InstantSearch, which is Algolia's other plugin that has a few different features. So I'm going to be mimicking Laracast's, where they have the autocomplete plugin here. But if you press enter without selecting anything, then it goes to a dedicated search page, and this search page uses instant search. So if I type something else in here, it's going to automatically show the results. And it has a few more features, like I said, like it has this refinement list over here, which we'll do. You can clear it off. You also have, well, there's a lot of search results. Pagination here. So we'll make use of all of that in our application. So the first thing I want to take care of is pressing enter and listening for that. So let's go ahead and do that. So if we press enter here, then we want to go to a dedicated search page. And I don't want it to screw up when we select something, because when we press enter when we select something, that already goes to the dedicated product page, and I want that to remain the same. And that still works. So let's make sure we don't screw up the existing functionality. So into our code, here is the JavaScript we worked on before, and here is where it's listening for when you select something. Now unfortunately this doesn't take care of the case where we don't select anything, so we have to make another event listener. So let's go ahead and do that. So we have to listen for either key down or key up. I'll just use key up here. And we have to listen for the enter key if that's pressed. So let's do that. Okay. So we'll just do a conditional here. Event.keycode, and the key code for enter is 13. So we'll just check if that happens. And for now we'll just alert. Enter pressed. So if we did that right, that should somewhat work. Let me just refresh this. Okay, there it is. So enter pressed. However, if we select one, it's still going to happen, and we don't want that. Because what we do in here is going to override what happens in here. Let me show you what I mean. Let's just make it go to the home page for now, since we don't have a dedicated search results page yet for this instant search. But let me just show you what I'm talking about. Let's just do this, and we'll just make it go to the home page like this. And refresh. So in the case we press enter and nothing selected, it should go to the home page, and it does. But I just wanted to show you that our previous functionality no longer works because it's going to override it. So this is going to go to the home page, which we don't want. See, we still want it to go to the product page, but we have to make one little tweak here. You see, this is taking precedence over this. So yeah, let's make one little tweak. And the tweak is we're just going to listen. We're going to make a temporary variable. We'll call it enter pressed. And we'll set it to true. And I'm just going to put it up here. Bar enter pressed. And we'll just set it to false initially. And once it's here, we set that to true. And here we can do an additional check. We can just check if enter is not pressed. And that should do it. So that should take care of both cases now. So refresh. So let's check the case when we don't have anything selected. this should go to the home page, and it does. But the case when we do select something, it should go to that page, and it does. Cool. Okay, back to our code, and we're just going to make a new dedicated search results page for this view instant search. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to make a new route. Same as this. Not same, but almost the same. Let's call it search Algolia. Let's make a dash actually. So let's call it search Algolia in this controller, and we'll name it search Algolia. Let's go to that controller, and let me just copy this. And we don't need any of this. Call it search Algolia. And we don't need any of this. And we'll make a new view called search results Algolia. And now I'm just going to copy this view and make a new one. So into our resources, views, where is it? Search results. Yes, this one. So let me just duplicate this. Call it search results Algolia. Algolia. And all of this is still good. And we'll keep this, and everything else we'll take out. And see if that works. So I'll show you later on how to connect pressing enter in here to that page. But for now, I just want to see if that works. Cool. So this page is basically going to be how this page is in Laracasts. So let's go ahead and start using Instant Search. So here's the Getting Started guide, which you should take a look at, and we're just going to be following this. Okay, so it says to add the CSS. Let's go ahead and do that. So we'll add in here. And there's also a styled theme CSS, which we'll make use of as well. So let me add that one too. And we also have to add the script. So let me add that down here. And I'm going to copy this as well. And I'm going to make a new JavaScript file we can work with. So Algolia Instant Search. And it's going to be similar to this. Let me just duplicate this. So Algolia InstantSearch.js. And let me just remove all this. And we're good. Okay. Okay, what's next? So initialization, let's go ahead and copy this. So the app ID is this, and the API key is this, and the index name is products. And this URL sync will leave on because we're going to need that later on. I'll show you. And we no longer need this. Okay, see if that worked. Okay, it's not going to work because we have to add the container where the results goes. So I think that's the next step. Yep, so right here, let's add hits. So where am I going? I'm going in this view and I'm adding hits just somewhere on the page. We'll worry about styling later. Right now I just want to put all the components on the page. Oh, sorry, we have to do one more step here. We also have to add the widget right here. So before the start, sorry, it should be in the JavaScript right here. And that should display results on the page. Cool. Okay. It's all in JSON right now, but we will make it show meaningful results. I think that's the next step. Okay, so yeah, we have to add this line. So let's go ahead and do that right underneath the container. So right here, so this is what's going to show when there's no results, and we do have a name property, so this should work. Cool, and here are our results. Okay, now let's add the search box. I think that's the next step. Okay, so let's add search box in our markup. That should go above the hits, right there. And then search box, let's initialize it. It's right underneath here. And that should do it. See if that works. And there's a search box. And I think this, yeah, it works straight away. Awesome. All right, what's next? Refinement list is probably the most useful thing here, but I'm going to do that in a sec. Okay, let's add this clear all widget. Actually, no, that should be later. Pagination. Let's do pagination. So pagination should be under the results. So here, pagination. Let's see what kind of JavaScript we need for pagination right here. Oops. That should be in the JavaScript. Okay, see if pagination shows up. Cool, and it's styled because we're using that theme. Awesome. What else? Alright, this one is not on the main page, but it's just on the API page if you go into API. And this is just a little stats widget. So we'll add that in here. And we have to make a stats container in our markup. So let's put it right underneath here. So stats container. Okay, see what that does. And now we have this little stats indicator here. So 84 results found in 1 millisecond. Cool. Okay, now let's add more of the item information here in the results, just like we have in here. So we have, right now we only have the item name. We also want the details, the price, and the image. So let's make sure we can display that. So back to our JavaScript, into our hits container. Where's the hits? Right here. So for the item, you can also have, let me just take that out, a function. And we're going to need to use a function instead to get our results looking the way we want them to. So similar to how we did it before, here, we're going to return a template string, and yeah, so it's going to return a template string, and let's just make one for what we already have. So the title, and let's use the variable syntax. So it's going to be item dot just this over here. And that should be the same. See if that works. Okay, cool. Now we want the item description, item details, sorry. So let me just copy this, make another div, and the details. See if that shows up. And it does, cool. We want, let me just change this. We want the price as well. Price. And just like how we did it before, it's going to be item, we don't need this highlighted anymore because price is not part of our search results in our index. So we want to divide by 100 because it's in cents. And we want to do the same thing. Dot to fixed 2. And that should show the price. Cool. And now for the image. It's going to make an image tag. Again, we're going to style it later, so just bear with me. I forgot the opening quote. And the source is going to be window.location.origin / shop, not shop. Oh, we already have it. Item.image. Okay, see if that works. There you go. Cool. So we have everything we need, and we'll style it later, like I said. Okay, now let's connect pressing enter in this search box to go to this page. So if you look here in the URL, there's actually a Q query string, and that actually changes as we type. See? So Q equals laptop, and it has some other information there. So that's because in our JavaScript we have this URL sync set to true, and we're going to make use of that. So let me show you how. So all we have to do when we press enter here is go to this page, enter the Q query string, and then it'll automatically go to this page, it'll automatically populate this, and it will automatically search the results. So let's go back to our Algolia JS, and right here where we did this earlier, we just want to add that query string and the route. So let's add the route. It's going to be search Algolia, and we're going to add the query string Q equals, and then we're just going to get it from the search box. So this has an ID of, let's get element by ID, AA search input, and just grab the value. And that should do it. So yeah, this shouldn't be here on this page. Like if you look at Laracasts, there's no, actually there is. Okay, that's fine. So let me just go to the shop page to make sure it works. Let me just hard refresh. And if I type in laptop and press enter, so there you go. So because I put this in the query string, it automatically populates this and it automatically searches. So we have this connecting to this search results page. Cool. Okay, now let's work on this refinement list. Where's the refinement list? Right here. Okay, so let's just grab this markup and let's put it right underneath the search box, actually underneath the stats. Okay, and let's initialize it using JavaScript. Right here, just put it underneath here. But if you look here, the attribute name is not going to work because we don't have a category attribute name associated in our index. Let me show you what I mean. If I go to Algolia, and if you look at our products index, you can see that there's no category here because in our database we have category in a separate database. It's actually a many-to-many relationship, so it's not just one string, it's one or more categories because we decided that we can have more categories for a product. So what we have to do here is we have to add a new field here when we push it up using Scout that has an array of categories. And once we push up an array of categories, Algolia is smart enough to recognize that it has more than one and it will take care of the rest for us. So if you go to the Laravel Scout documentation, you'll see that you can use this toSearchable array to push more fields to the Algolia index. So let's go ahead and do that. Into our product model, let's paste that in. Okay. And here we can add more fields. Let me just show you how. So extra fields is an array, and we want a new field called categories. And we want something like this. This is not going to work. So we have this relationship here defined right here. But let me show you what I want to do. So let me just tinker. And I'm going to just going to grab a product. And I'm going to get the categories. And as you can see, it's a collection of their results. So for this particular product, we have two categories. This is a laptop and this is a desktop. But we don't want all this information. All we want is an array where the first item is laptops and the second item is desktops. So we can make use of collections, the collection functions, which are super useful. So if I just do pluck and grab the name and cast it to an array, then that's going to give us exactly what we want. If I add the quote, there you go, an array with the categories. So if I do the same for the other ones, I think most of them only have one category. So there you go. So let's do that. Let's grab this. Let's put that in here. Okay, and I'm just going to do exit this. I'm going to do a PHP artisan e-commerce install. And in this script, it's going to flush out the index in Algolia and add it again from our database, because we have this new function that pushes up more information. So just do this real quick. Oh, sorry, I forgot to do anything with this. I'm supposed to array merge this array with the extra fields. Sorry, let's do that again. So let's do that again. Yes. I actually have two indexes. I have one called products and dev products, so I can differentiate between production and dev. So I'm just going to change this to clear out the products index, because that's what we're working with. Okay, now it's clearing out the correct one. And if I go into Algolia and check out the products, you'll see that there should be a new field here called categories. Awesome. And it has all the categories we need. So I believe laptop 1 had 2 categories. There it is, sorry. Cool. And there it is. So it correctly shows our multiple categories. And now in our JavaScript, so here, we can now give this a proper attribute name of categories. And like I said before, Algolia is smart enough to parse this array, and we should have a refinement list here. Okay, it's not showing because we have to add these attributes for faceting. If you go to the display tab in Algolia, and we can add categories and save that. And now if we did this correctly, it should show, but it's not showing. Refinement list. Oh, sorry, I was changing it behind the scenes when I was trying to figure out when it wasn't working. So categories. There you go. We have categories, and you can filter by whatever category you want. And pagination, and everything works. So this search box actually affects this as you type as well. So it searches the refinement list as well, and everything is good. There's also a clear button here in the search box. Cool. Alright, now I'm going to style this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time working on it. I'm just going to spend a few minutes to make it look decent, and then I'll polish it off behind the scenes. Again, I'm just going to copy pretty much what Laracast's here in terms of the layout. Just have 2 columns with the search box, the refinement list, and our results here on the right side. Okay, into our code. So in our markup, I am going to rename this to search results container Algolia, and I'm going to make 2 new divs in here. This will represent the columns because I'm using CSS grid. So the first one, this is going to be our left column. So it should have the search box. So let me just grab this, put it in there, and it should also have our refinement list. Let me just put another H2 here, name it categories, and let me just put that up there. Okay, don't need this. Stats container, this should also go underneath here. And the other column should have our hits and pagination. Cool. Okay, so I'm going into my assets, SAS, add a new one for pages. Let's name it search results Algolia.sas. And let me just add some stuff in here. Container Algolia. Is that what I named it? Search results container Algolia, okay. Let's add a min height 400, margin on the top and the bottom. And here is where I'm gonna use CSS grid template columns, and I'm just gonna do like 30% for the left column, and the rest will be that, and the grid gap will be 20 pixels. And in my app, let me add just the new one. I am gonna run npm run watch, and let's check out if that worked. Clearly it did not. Okay, I have to remove this container, and I have to add another one that encompasses the whole thing. So search results right here, indent that, close the container, see how that looks. Cool, that looks better. And now we just have to style this to make it sort of look like this. Let me just do it really quickly and then I'll polish it off. Okay, you might have noticed that it's not highlighting what I typed in here. So let's see what's going on. So there is an M tag. So let's just add this in our CSS. And I'm going to put this in, I can put it in this, sorry, not this. I can put it in here, but I think I have that other CSS file, the algolia.css. Yeah, this one. Let's just put it in here. So I'm going to do this. I think it was a class. Yeah. And I'm just going to grab this. See if that works. There you go. Now it's highlighting it. Cool. See if it highlights this stuff. Cool, it does. And I also want to make sure that this is clickable, just like how the results in here are clickable. And I wanted to go to the appropriate product page. So let's go ahead and do that. So in here, right here, let's just wrap this whole thing in an anchor tag. And let me just close it off. And where's it going to go? It's going to go to window.location.origin /shop/ and we have the slug coming in, so item.slug. Sorry, I forgot the $sign. And that should work. Let me just indent this. So yeah, it works. So this whole thing, so desktop 9, it goes to the correct page. Yep, and it looks like it works. Cool. And this video is getting quite long, so I'm just gonna do the CSS behind the scenes and I'll quickly explain it when it's done. It's pretty much exactly the same thing as what we have in here, just modified so it's a bit bigger. But yeah. Alright, so I've cleaned it up. Here is what I have, and it's just using Flexbox to put these two items. So I have one div right here, another div that has all of these items in it. So this instant search result is the flex container, and here is one of the flex items, which is just the image. Sorry, the image. And this is the other flex item, which is all of the details. Here, and I have a horizontal rule that I've styled sort of. So it separates the products. And I'm going to spend a few more minutes just to make it a little bit more cleaner like this. I don't want to be blue, but you'll see that in the final code. So there you have it, guys. We've managed to implement Algolia's instant search library into our application, giving our users even more search capabilities. I hope you learned something new, and I hope you can use this in your applications. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one. Okay, thanks. Bye.